What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a nice weekend. NBA playoffs, Eastern Conference Finals came to an end this past weekend on Saturday. Indiana Pacers take care of business at home, defeating the New York Knicks 125 to 108, 21-13 for Tyrese Halliburton. Was a back and forth close game in the first half. Indiana dominates in the second half, especially in the third quarter, to pull away and win by 17 in Game 6, and Knicks season comes to an end. Shame that it came to an end the way it did, but Knicks did have a great season. The first Eastern Conference Finals appearance for them in 25 years since the year 2000. That was the year where they were, it was the year after they went to the finals as an 8 seed. They were an ECF. Obviously, it was followed by a lot of misery. Now they've gotten things back together to an extent these last few years, but just this game, Jalen Brunson didn't play well enough. Too many turnovers. Karl-Anthony Towns, that guy he was just not good enough. Simply not good enough. McHale wasn't good enough, and they just didn't play well enough. It's simple as that. When your stars don't show up, that's what's going to happen. And just Karl-Anthony Towns, that guy, he was brutal, just flat out brutal. What's next for the Knicks? I'm gonna do that part of my offseason review series. I think it's the only team I have left besides the two teams in the finals. I'll probably do that tomorrow. And after the finals, that will probably be 2 weeks, whenever that ends. But Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm not sure. He had a very good regular season. He averaged 26-12 or 26-10, but the playoff he did not do it for me. And Bridges was inconsistent all year. OG, who did have a good game, had 24 to lead a team, 10 of 18 from the field. He was inconsistent when it comes to his offense, and but I see a lot of people blaming Tibbs. Let's not do that, okay? Let's not do that. I get his constraints. He plays guys 40 minutes in February against Charlotte, and he doesn't use the bench, but he got up next to the Eastern Conference Finals. No coach has done that in 25 years with the Knicks. You cannot let that guy go, okay? Before Tom Thibodeau took over, the Knicks were a disaster. He turned them into a good team. Yes, a lot. You got to give credit to Leon Rose for putting the teammate he has on the basketball court. You got to give credit to a lot of these players who've come in. Obviously, Jalen Brunson and these other guys, whether it be McHale, Berto, Giannobi, all the other guys, even Towns, what they did at least in the regular season. Other guys over the years, but they were disasters before he took over, and he's turned them into a playoff contender. Maybe not a championship contender quite yet, but I would take what we've gotten the last 3 years from the Knicks, even though it hasn't resulted in championship contending than the previous 20, where they were an utter disaster, and I don't even know if they won 30 games 5 times. They went 8 years in a row without making the playoffs at one point. This is a whole lot better. Indiana wins. That team's really good. That dude Halliburton is great. He's absolutely phenomenal. Amazing player. They will meet the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Final. That will start Thursday. By the way, NBA on TNT is done. I saw, kind of like Rick Carlisle paid tribute to, because Ernie Johnson was interviewing him after the game. And then Kevin Harlan did a little tribute to, he narrated the tribute video. Sad. But it is going to, the inside of the NBA is not going anywhere. They are going to be on ESPN next year. I'm hoping the show will be just as iconic, and I feel like it's not going to be, knowing ESPN, but those 4 guys are not going anywhere, thankfully. And but it is sad that the NBA on TNT has been a staple for a long time, and now they're gone. So it's really a shame, but that was the last ever NBA on TNT game. Final starts Thursday. My pick, I'm going to take the Thunder in 6 games. I don't think it's going to be one of the most things for the Thunder run Indiana off the court. Also, this should be an exciting finals. Those are 2 very good teams. They're both young. Both have been in the finals in a while. The Thunder have been to the finals since 2012. Their second time ever since moving to Oklahoma City. Indiana has been to the finals since what was it, 90, maybe 2001 or something like that. I don't think they've ever won a championship. Thunder haven't won since they were in Seattle in 1979. You got 2 excellent young point guards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's the MVP of the league, and Tyrese Halliburton. 2 fast-paced teams. I think this will be an exciting series. Two really well-built basketball teams. People crying about the ratings. Do you get like a piece of the pie from the NBA ratings and the revenue? No, then shut up. Like, I'm sorry. Like, are ratings gonna be down? They probably are gonna be down. These teams are not that marketable. You know, Shea's the most will-liked player in the world because he's at the free throw line a lot. I think it's a little bit overrated from what people say. I don't think he's implemented as much as people say. I think the term flopper is used a lot with him. I don't think that's a fair label for him. People say that. I don't think that's fair. As people say in Indiana, I think they think because it's two low market teams. So what? I'll stand for the next round as a next fan, but I'm not gonna not watch the finals because my team isn't in it or it's not marketable. If it was, who cares? Like, unless I'm getting part of the pie and it's going to line my pockets, why should I care about the ratings? But the NBA is going to be fine. They have a media rights deal that's going to kick in next year. It is worth $75 billion. If the ratings go down by 10% from what they usually are, they will be fine. I promise. I really think they're going to be okay? I promise you, they will be just fine. I want to take OKC in 6. Just that team is just so well put together. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's on another planet right now. They have so much depth. They're so good defensively. They're the best defensive team in the NBA. Indiana's a good team too. Really fast-paced team. They can score in bunches. You have a star guard there, entire top guard. They also are a solid defensive team. They also have some nice depth, but I think Thunder are just are going to overpower them in the end. And I think they will win. Which will be a hard-fought, exciting series. 6 games. Again, I don't see Indiana just getting run off the floor. This has been a team that, since the All-Star break, has been one of the 5 best teams in the NBA. But I think OKC, they're just destined for greatness. They have everything. You have a star. You have complementary scorers. You have rebounding. You have defense. You have depth. You have coaching. And the other has a lot of that, too. I just think I'm going to take Oklahoma City's defense. I think their Oklahoma City's defense a little better, and I'll take their defense. I think we're very good here, but I'm going to take Oklahoma City Thunder to win in 6 games. This should be a very good and a very, very fun series. MLB standings. We are approaching the 40% mark of the season. We're about 60 or so games in. American League East Yankees at 36-22. Been playing some good baseball. Toronto at 31-28. They've been playing pretty well. They've won 5 in a row. They are 5.5 games out. They're playing well right now. Tampa at 30-29. They're playing well. They've been a lot better than I thought. I thought they're going to be pretty bad. Very young squad has held together pretty nicely. The Boston Red Sox continue to struggle, 29-32. They're like 11-17 month of May. I have a feeling Alex Cora might not make it to the All-Star break. We've seen a bunch of managers get fired already. Obviously, Bud Black in Colorado. We've seen a couple of managers, Derek Shelton in Pittsburgh. We've seen a couple of managers get axed. Brandon Hyde in Baltimore. But, and just the team is really, really struggling. With the roster they have, they should be way better. And just that organization is kind of a mess. Alex Bregman is now hurt. Your star third baseman who you brought in for agency. He's hurt. The Devers saga, although he is still killing it at the plate. Now he's a DH. You don't really have a first baseman on the roster. Also, why is Rowan Anthony not with the team? Christian Campbell, was a same kind of top-tier prospect as Rowan Anthony. You gave him the second best job right out of camp. For day 1, he was in the starting lineup for Boston Red Sox. Came out hot, now he's been horrible. You just called up Marcelo Mayer. And he's going to probably play a good amount of third base for you. I'm sure he'll be mixing it in the middle infield as well. But Roman Anthony, number 1 prospect in baseball, arguably just still there in the minor leagues. Why? Why is he not with the team? I don't understand. That's on all of them. That is on Alex Cora. That's on his staff. That's on the front office. That is on all of them. Craig Breezel. That's on all of them. Okay? A lot of the Rafael Devers stuff, I blame him. I think he was being childish. I think he was being selfish. But again, you should have another first baseman on the roster. When you go into with Tristan Case as a guy who is always injured, you should probably go into the season with at least one more first baseman. You had Dom Smith last year. The guy isn't any good. He's a 200 hitter, but at least he's a decent defender over there. And is a major league first baseman, one of the worst ones, but at least he's a first baseman. And you just cut him for no reason, and now he's opted out of his AAA deal with the Yankees. If I'm Boston, I'm like, hey, come back. I give him a major league deal right now, and at least I might just stick my first just so you have something over there. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, first base is not that hard. Like, I played first base growing up in youth baseball. It's not that hard, okay? They can teach somebody to do it. Just give them a glove. Tell them same, like, if you're by trade, you feel ground balls the same way. It just even less range to cover. You don't have to throw as far. See the square thing, that little base thing. Yeah, when you get the ball, touch it, catch the ball, and I throw it to you. It's not that hard. You're a professional baseball player. This stuff is not hard. This isn't 12U. This isn't Little League. Okay, but having the first baseman on the roster. Also, they have so many freaking pieces offensively. They should have traded somebody for some pitching, because they have so many injuries in that rotation, and the bullpen isn't that good. That's why they rolled a Chapman in the ninth inning. Just why that didn't happen, I don't know. And the lineup is really struggling. You got Trevor Story, couldn't hit water. He fell in the ocean. Guy was hitting like 330 at the end of April. He's fallen off a cliff. Christian Campbell was on his way to Rookie of the Year in April. He's fallen off a cliff. Then you got like Marcelo Mayer, who's been with the team for like a week, hitting cleanup. You got David Hamilton hitting every day. That guy hasn't hit really most levels in his career. Meanwhile, Roman Anthony, the superstar prospect killing it in AAA, is just not with the team. Why? I have no clue whatsoever. But in last place in that division is the Baltimore Orioles. Going to play a smidge better, still 22-36. I mean, their pitching's been really, really bad. Grayson Rodriguez hasn't pitched yet. You had a couple guys like Wells and Bradish coming off Tommy John you haven't seen yet. And Troy Warner, they thought would provide some innings for them, has not. He's been god-awful. He looks washed, and he's like 40 years old. I thought they'd give him something. He's been a relatively consistent arm for years, and he has not. That's been they are an utter disaster around the Baltimore Orioles. American League Central, Detroit Tigers, 39-21. They are rolling. They have the best record in all of baseball. They are rolling. We all know that their pitching was good, but it's been even better than we thought. Tariq Skubal is the best pitcher in all of baseball right now. That guy is nuts. And their offense has been really good, too, which has been a surprise. Cleveland Guardians, 32-26, are playing well right now. You got the Twins, 31-27. They started off really bad, and then they won like 12 in a row or something. Have cooled off since, but overall, still in a decent spot. Royals, 31-29. I thought they'd win the division this year. They haven't come out as hot as I thought. However, they are calling up number one prospect and the sixth best prospect in all of baseball, Jack Caglione, who's a very, very high draft pick, very highly touted superstar outfielder. He is coming to the show. Kansas City has called him out. And the White Sox are 18-41. They suck. There's no other way to put it. They are really, really bad. American League West, Seattle, 32-28, 26 rather. They tend to always start out well and then fall off, so we'll see what happens. Astros, 32-27. That what we expected. Texas, 29-31. I thought they'd be a little better this year. I thought they'd be in the playoffs. It hasn't really worked out that way. They haven't been great. And we'll say Jacob deGrom has been great. He's shown that even after all these injuries, he's still an elite-level pitcher of the Mets fan. I'm very happy to see Jacob deGrom still doing his thing. Angels, 26-32. They had gotten really hot. They were like 8 in a row at one point, gotten back to 500, but now they've fallen off again. I'm sure this will be the norm. They could get Mike Trout back, though, so that's helpful. And the A's are 23-37. They've lost 6 in a row. They suck. I thought they'd be competitive this year, and for the most part they have. However, lately it's been rough. Lost 9 of 10 in each of the last 6. National League Mets still in first place in the division, 37-22. I mean, they haven't gotten exactly what they want from Juan Soto. I don't think he's been bad. The rest of them have been pretty good. Their pitching staff's been unbelievable. Their bullpen's been amazing. That rotation, Clay Holmes, who hasn't been a starter in years, has been phenomenal for them. You got, Griffin Canning, who hasn't been good really ever, has been really good for them. That makeshift rotation's been really, really good. And you haven't even gotten that much from Kodai Senga. We haven't seen Shohei Minaya, haven't seen Frankie Montas yet, and their pitching's been really, really good. So kudos to the Mets staff for really holding together. Phillies 36-23, been playing some good baseball for a while. Nationals 28-31. I had a feeling that's about what they'd be competitive. Maybe not a playoff team. That division's kind of tough. Braves 27-31. They started off really, really bad. I played a little better. Obviously, you just got back around Acuna, who's gotten off to a hot start, but rest of that group hasn't been great. And the Marlins 23-34. They simply have no offense. It's the Marlins. They suck. National League Central. Cubs are playing great baseball. 37-22. First place. National League Central. Tied for the best record in the National League with the Mets right now. They are just rolling. Cards 33-26. They've been playing really well. They've had a long win streak as well, so they've been a lot better than I thought. Brewers 32-28. They've won 7 in a row. They were struggling for a while. Now they've woken up. So that NL Central has really woken up. Reds 29-31. Basically, Ellie De La Cruz is really, really good. And other than that, there isn't a lot to like in Cincinnati. And the Pirates 22-38 are just god awful. They haven't been that much better since they fired Shelton. They're just a terrible organization. Paul Skeens is wasting his career there. Nothing to see there. Actually, West Dodgers at 36-23. They haven't been as dominant, I think we all thought. However, they're still a great team, obviously. Now they just got Clayton Kershaw back a couple of weeks ago recently for the first time this season. Padres 33-24, still playing really well. Giants 33-26. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 28-31, just overmatched in that division. They are a good team. However, Corbin Burns looks like he may have hurt his elbow. That's a shame because he's former Cy Young winner in Milwaukee a couple of years ago. One of the league's best starting pitchers. To lose him would be huge. The Colorado Rockies are 9-50. That is the worst start in the history of Major League Baseball. 9-50. It is June 2nd, and they have 9 wins. 9. Good God. I saw a stat late last night. I'm scrolling on social media. It's like midnight. The Denver Broncos have the same amount of wins as the same baseball team in their city, the Colorado Rockies, since September 22nd of 2024. So that was like week, like 3 or 4 of the NFL season. Broncos barely made the playoffs last year. The Rockies still had like 10 or so games to go at that point. They have played 59 more, and they still have as many wins as the Denver Broncos have since September 22nd, and the Broncos haven't played since like the first or second week in January, like when they got bludgeoned by the Bills in the first round of the playoffs. Like, why? This is ridiculous. How many players are like can you name my team? That seems embarrassing. Because good God, I mean the manager has clearly done nothing. But they've lost 8 in a row, 9 in the last 10. They are just brutally bad. Just brutal. They're 3-28 on the road. I mean, 6-22 at home isn't much better, but 3-28 on the road. That's wow. They have 3 road wins. I just realized that they have 3 road wins. I mean, again, they only have 6 home wins. 6-22 at home is awful as well. Their run differential was minus 185. They've been outscored by 185 runs through 59 games. The next worst mark is, is the Oakland Athletics. I did it again. The Sacramento Athletics at negative 110. They hardly have a stadium to play in. And their run differential is 75 runs better than the Rockies. 75, and they barely even have a freaking stadium. Jesus Christ. The Colorado Rockies. Wow. Remember the A's? I think it was 2 years ago. We thought like a double-A team could beat them. A single-A team might beat them. A high A ball team might beat the Rockies. They are horrible. Horrible. I think they're on pace for 26 wins. To put that in perspective, the Rockies had the White Sox last year broke the record for the worst season ever. They took it from the 62 Mets. They won 41 games last year. The Rockies are on pace for 26. Wow. That's a level of putridness I have never seen in sports. Wow. They are god awful. The Philadelphia Eagles and the 49ers are working out a trade. Sure, that's pretty much being finalized. Eagles are signing edge rusher Bryce Huff to the San Francisco 49ers. They're getting a mid-round pick in return. The Eagles are going to pay down some of his salary. They're going to pay $9 million of his salary. The 49ers were on the hook for the other, just under $8 million. This saves $50 million in cap space for the Eagles. Lost a couple of pieces in free agency because of the cap crunch. And obviously, you already have a lot of big contracts. Dallas Goedert is going to be a free agent after the season. Your starting tight end. I'm sure they're going to want to maybe bring him back. And they're going to need to fill the hole. They're going to continue to lose pieces in free agency somehow. And they send him to the 49ers. I think this is a good pickup for the 49ers. You're only paying just under half his salary. You got him for 2 years. He's still going to be 27 years old at 10 sacks 2 years ago. As a rotational pass rusher for the Jets, he's shown the ability to be a really good pass rusher. Isn't great against the run, but is a really good athlete and is a talented pass rusher. Last year, only played 12 games. Production went down a lot, 2.5 sacks. However, the Eagles are just so deep in that front seven. Niners obviously lose a lot of pieces. Your second best DN was Larry Floyd last year, but across from Nick Bosa, you let him go in for agency. You cut him after the season, so he will replace Floyd. We'll give him a chance to play, hopefully, a little bit more. He's a very talented player. That was always no for him, and the Eagles gave him $51 million next year, but now they got him for 2 years, and this year they're only paying him about $8 million. And then next year, I'm sure they'll pay him whatever the full, $15-16 million is. Give up the mid-round pick, and the Eagles save a little bit of money. So I get it from the Eagles' perspective as well. They are still very deep in that front seven, even with losing Mint Williams and Josh Sweat in free agency and trading him away. You still have Jordan Davis and Jim Carter. You still have Nolan Smith, was a guy that you've drafted recently. So you still have enough firepower, I would say, on that defensive line. You save a lot of money in cap space, and I'm sure they'll draft some random kid from Georgia next year, and he'll turn into a star somehow. But Bryce Huff is going to the 49ers. And now, I'm going to go over my top 10 tight ends in the NFL heading into the season. Number 10, I'm going to go with Hunter Henry. He's quietly become one of the more reliable tight ends in football. I know he hasn't had the best quarterback situations in New England, but he's acquired any health concerns for the last few years. They have with the Chargers, with the Patriots. He's become a very solid tight end. Number 9, T.J. Hawkinson. would have had him a lot higher, but last year was hurt to start the year, coming off that torn Achilles. Missed a bunch of games to start the year. Missed about half the year. Came back, wasn't great, wasn't super productive. He hasn't been as productive as he was in Detroit and Minnesota. Also, because there's a lot more mouths to feed in Minnesota. Getting a little bit older, but he's still a really good tight end. And I could see him if he goes back to pre-Achilles tear form. This year, he want to do this again next year. He could really jump up. Number 8 is Tucker Kraft. He had a really good year last year. He's a really dangerous red zone threat. For fans' purposes, I'm not sure if he's the best option because of now the Packers draft another receiver. If you go old in the first round, I'm not sure what his value is. But he overall was a very good young tight end, still 24 years old. Was a great red zone threat for them last year. 7, I have Jonnu Smith. He had a big year last year, career year for him. 88 catches, over 800 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He had a big year for the Miami Dolphins last year. The second half of the year, he was absolutely money. He's always been a solid tight end. He's kind of bounced around. Was in Tennessee for a while. Then was in New England. He was in Atlanta briefly. But in Miami, he really broke out last year. And made his first Pro Bowl, and he had a great season last year. At 6, I have Sam Laporta. Took a step back after that monster rookie season, but still really young, still a very good tight end. One of the better ones in the league. I think part of the reason he took a step back production-wise because Jameson Williams, who only played a few games the year before, he was fully healthy last year. He took away a lot of targets. They ran the ball a lot more as well. I think you got Amon-Ra, who's always going to have over 100 catches every single season if he's healthy. So he's a really good tight end, one of the league's best. Top 5. At 5, I have Mark Andrews. Getting a little bit older, but I think still really good. Started off really slow last year. He kind of always does that, but it was especially slow last year. But second half of the year, he basically reverted back to form. Obviously had that really bad playoff game where he kind of cost him with some drops and that fumble in the fourth quarter against Buffalo in the divisional round. But still a great tight end. He also does a lot in the blocking game as well. I think that's why a lot of times Starts off slow because they really want to make sure they get that running game going early in the seasons. How dangerous it is with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So I think they don't use him as much as a pass catcher early in the season, and they kind of ease him into it, and he kind of breaks down as the season goes on. Fourth, Travis Kelce. Kelce is also one of the all-time great tight ends. He's getting older. I would not be shocked if this is just last season. He has been declining these last couple of years. Injuries are starting to pile up. He doesn't need to play anymore. He's won 3 Super Bowls, already one of the all-time greats at the position. Like I said, 3 championships. He's got his pockets with his brother. That brings in a lot of money. He's obviously made a lot of money playing. He's dating the most popular singer in the world. Last couple of years, he doesn't need to really play anymore. And if I had to guess, this will be his last season, but I don't know for sure. But he's still a very good tight end, one of the better ones in the league. He's at 4. At 3, I have Trey McBride. That guy is an absolute superstar. Got over 100 catches last year, over 1,100 yards, and somehow only had 1 touchdown because of the overrated Kyler Murray at quarterback. But that guy's a superstar. Absolute dog. I'm happy he got his big extension this offseason. At 2, I have Brock Bowers. As a rookie, that guy was amazing. He's everything that we thought of him coming out. He's a stud. He'll be the Raiders' #1 passing option for a long time. And 1 is George Kittle. Time with injury pretty much because that guy plays really, really hard. Not only is he an elite pass catcher, but he's also an amazing blocker as well. I think that guy could be in some top 5 conversations at the tight end position when his career is all said and done. You could argue he's already top 10. He is an absolute beast. And I think right now he is the best tight end in the NFL. Friday Night Smackdown a few days ago. We started off a promo between Bianca and Naomi when you got Naomi saying he went to Bianca's house, and then she called out her mom saying, "Imagine if I put the both of you in a wheelchair." And then Jade came out and chased her away. Then we had a Money in the Bank qualifying match, triple threat between Naomi, Jade, and Nia Jax. Naomi picks up the win. Very good match. A little bit of a sloppy finish. Naomi had some trouble getting that that pin on Nia Jax. So it was a little sloppy in the end, but Naomi qualifies. She has done a phenomenal job as a heel. Love her character. She's in the Money in the Bank. The women's division right now is so loaded. Now with Stephanie Vacker and all these women coming up, oh my god. And that women's Money in the Bank match is going to be loaded. Then we had R-Truth had his funny backstage moment. More on him after this, by the way. I'm sure all the while I'm going to be talking about with that. He goes up, he bumped into JC Mateo, and then Mateo went after him, and Solo held him back, and he was like, he thought it was Solo's son, and then he called him Husky, called him Big Bone, and then JC Mateo, of course, beats him in a match, and they beat him down. After the match, then Jimmy Uso returned, and actually Mateo attacked him, and then Solo told them all, hey, I want to talk to him, so we will see what happens with that. And the Wyatt Six let out the entire tag division. Basically, had it was a match between obviously Fraxium was involved. By the way, those 2 guys, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, those guys are amazing. Oh my god. And then the Wyatt Six laid everybody out, and he had the little promo when Uncle House said we're not going to stop until we get what we want. I assume that means the tag titles. Well, I'm very glad that they're back. I mean, Los Garza defeated Javon Evans and Ray Fenix in a tag team. By the way, that guy Javon Evans, wow, that guy is something else. 21 years old. That guy is extremely talented. Of course, you had Ethan Page on commentary. It's a fatal 4-way for the NXT North American title at Worlds Collide this Saturday. Page defends against Javon Evans, Ray Fenix, and then I probably forget his name, but someone from AAA. Then yeah, Zelina Vega defeated Alba Fire in a one-on-one match. He's, of course, still the U.S. champ. Yeah, Damian Priest called out Jacob Fatu, and they had a little stare down, so it looks like there'll be a U.S. title match between those 2. And then Money in the Bank qualifier between Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, and Fatu. Andrade wins. Obviously, Fatu was distracted by Sol Sikoa inadvertently, and then backstage, Fatu threw a fit. Sol said, "I was just trying to help," and then he told him, "Last thing I'm going to tell you, stay out of my business." So that storyline continues to brew. I really wish Carmelo Hayes won this match. I don't hate Andrade being in the match. He's very athletic. He fits what you want in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I do think he's a very good in-ring performer. So he can't talk, and he's just boring as hell. That's why he doesn't get more TV time. But Very good in the ring, great athlete, but Carmelo Hayes, we gotta push this guy at some point. I'm not sure what exactly they're trying to do with him. Like, I like him with the Miz. It's been funny. It's now starting. And now that Carmelo's like, start to like, it's like, hey, like Miz, I appreciate you, but this is really because of me. I see it's starting to maybe hint at maybe Miz will turn on him at some point. But I really wish he was in the Money to Make ladder match, Carmelo Hayes, personally. And then the main event segment, Cody came out. He introduced Jey Uso, which was a surprise. And Cena came out. He introduced Logan Paul. And then, Logan Paul and Cena had a little, like, mini argument there. And Cody's line said, what are you going to, like, stroke his peacemaker? That was hilarious. Very, very funny. And then brawl ensued. Of course, there's going to be a tag match in Money in the Bank. Cena and Logan Paul against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Excited for that. So that was Friday Night SmackDown. Now to the unfortunate news. We found out the other day that R-Truth is being let go when his contract ends. I think sometime before the end of this year. And then Carlito in 2 weeks is also going to be let go when his contract ends. I don't understand. Why would you do this? R-Truth has been doing this for 17 years. If we really want to get technical, he's the most accomplished champion in the WWE history. He's a 53-time, 24/7, 48/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 South champion. He's one of the top merch sellers in the company. He's hilarious. Maybe the greatest comedic relief in wrestling history. Everyone in the back loves him. You see everyone, every wrestler freaking, tweeted at him, saying how much they're going to miss him. From in-ring guys to broadcasters to former WWE guys, retired wrestlers, everyone, broadcasters. And, he's super funny. He just had a match with John Cena. He's had a match with the GOAT like a week or two ago. And you let him go. I don't understand. This is so saddening, maddening to be honest. Apparently you had some talent say that they called it, like, they didn't use the term, but they basically called it blasphemous. They said that this regime is ruthless. And I blame TKO, and I blame Triple H. I blame everyone there. What are you doing? Like, why would you do this? I just don't understand. Why in the world would you do this? And Carlito, again, brings incredible comedic relief to the Judgment Day. I get it, he hasn't had an actual match in forever. He's maybe had 5 matches since he came back a couple of years ago. And from an in-ring perspective, he's not doing a whole lot, but the comedic relief that he brings, it was a guy who's another guy who's been around for a long time, and you let him go again. Why? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Shame on TKO. All they care about is dollar signs and their record ticket prices. If you're going to charge as much as you offer tickets, you might as well have the best roster that you can. Doesn't make any sense. Shame on Triple H and Nick Khan and all of them as well. Makes no sense, and they would miss. I'm telling you, if R-Truth goes to AEW, it would be a really funny bit if he goes up to all the ex-WWE guys, Christian and Edge and Lashley and MVP, and it's like, where you guys been? You think he's still in WWE? That would be funny. That might get some people to watch AEW. I might turn to AEW just to watch that. I don't know. But very, very, very sad news. And gonna miss both of them, especially R-Truth. Also, another thing, the fans love them both, especially R-Truth. I don't get it. Very sad. Very, very sad. That's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.